Howdy, folks. Welcome to the dulcet tones of the next-door neighbor chopping down all the trees in their backyard. Ah, country living. How good is it? Well, today on this workbench we have another PV Classic 50, dead. There's a lot of problems with this amplifier. I've troubleshooted it, and the amount of effort involved to get it working will cost more than buying a second-hand one. So, with the customer's permission, I have begun gutting it. And what I'm essentially going to do, in between the small, annoying chainsaw running in the background there, I'm going to gut all the components. Now, I kind of just started, and I wasn't going to record this because of the background noise. But, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and start pulling stuff off here. So, rather than show you what I'm going to do, what I am going to do is talk about what happens if an amplifier is so dead that it's going to cost more money to repair than it is to just go out and buy another one. Well, I'm going to show you the things you can salvage on here. For starters, these 47 microfarad filter caps. I've already taken the 22 microfarad ones off here. You can take off these stereo switching jacks. Actually, they're not stereo, they're mono, but they are switching, and they can come off as long as you find a suitable PCB. Or you can go ahead and wire these with flying leads onto another component or another amplifier, whatever. These pots, they do come in handy, except these ones, maybe, because they're broken completely. And you can thank that for the tiny little thin shafts underneath the knurled shaft here. Filter caps, now these filter caps here, they're just for the low-powered circuit, which powers this little IC here. I haven't looked at what the IC is, but let's see if I can... I don't think I can focus in enough to have a look. Let's see. Oops, no, that takes a photo when I do that. I don't want that. I don't know if you can read that. I sure as hell can't. Looks like maybe an NC45582. Something like that. I believe that just controls the reverb circuit. It's the input and output of the reverb, or output and input of the reverb circuit, whatever. I'll take that chip out, and if, you know, it's any use, I'll have it in my parts bin. Fuses, all these fuses work. They can go in my parts bin. 390 ohm bias resistor, that can go in the parts bin. And these little caps here, well, look, these ones here, yeah, I mean, they can go on the power side of things. These caps here, well, they're all the tone caps. These little ones here, some more here, and the rest of these, yeah, there's some here. There's a resistor and a cap there. Look, probably most of these, they're worth, you know, cents. They're not even 50 cents, not even 10 cents. I'm not going to bother. These caps here, they're okay. They're the Zoso style caps. In fact, they're Illinois cap, so I may not even bother with that because that's just a crap brand. This relay here might come in handy. I may salvage that. These caps, whatever, big deal. These are the expensive ones here that you need to take out. That's about it, really. There's another filter cap here. Another resistor here. There's a transistor there. Yeah, good old valve amp full of transistors and ICs. Yep. Anyway, so a few things to salvage here. Like I said, I probably will salvage the pots, mainly because they come with this this cage that grounds it and also supports it. Now, there's two reasons why this happens. One, these sort of pots, they're very sturdy, okay? But secondly, manufacturers use them. This is my opinion. They use them because they mount these pots to the chassis, and they use this as a stressed member. And obviously, with the pot without this cage, what you'll have is the three legs of the pot holding the fort down, and unfortunately, that's not enough. What I'm not going to salvage... before I finish that, I'm going to salvage all these switches because they're the Darlington switches. They're made in Mexico, but whatever. They're good, solid switches. And there's another one here, okay? And then there's another one here. So, good, solid switches. Great. Giant resistor in there, who cares? Fan, who cares? what I'm not going to salvage, yeah. The valve sockets. Who cares? Here's some caps in here. I'm going to salvage those. There's some orange drops. They're Spragues. What are they? 22 microfarad, looks like. Yep, going to salvage those. Ribbon cables, get out of my life. What else is there? That's about it. So really, out of this whole amp, there's well, I'm probably going to say just maybe 2 handfuls worth of components. Probably salvaging the output jacks for the speakers, and on this side we have some of the foot switch and blah blah blah. Okay, whatever. I think remote switch and foot switch and this and that. So I'm going to take them out as well. Shielded cabling. Hey, look at that. Look at that. Long lengths of shielded cable, all going to get chopped out of these crappy pushed-in connectors that constantly fail. Okay, ribbon cables, no, chuck them in the bin. Okay, so basically that's what's going to happen with this amplifier. It's going to be used for parts. It saves the customer money. It saves me having to order anything. You probably may or may not see this video first, but I'm working on a Marshall JTM30. I've been waiting on those parts for a month. It has nothing to do with the supplier and everything to do with the little company called Fastway Couriers. So if you're in Australia and you're using Fastway Couriers, good luck with their ironic branding, because it's been 3.5 weeks, not exactly 1 month, and the tracking has been telling me that it's ready for delivery for the last 3 weeks. I've called my supplier. They're fortunately an amazing company. So if you're ever looking for parts here in Australia, call Kevin or go onto his website, ivatco.com.au. I'll post that in the links down below, in the messages, in the description. Check him out. I don't get a kickback for that recommendation. I just feel like he deserves good business because Kevin's an awesome dude, and he's been chasing up and following up what the hell has happened to my delivery. So on that note, I'm going to finish doing this and getting this amp in the bin, basically, because even then, I guess I could use the chassis. I mean, I'd probably get a new faceplate on here, and the back part here, I could probably screw down a plate. Output transformers and power transformers. Now, the power transformer works. The heaters work, and the high voltage works. 2 things to note, though. 1, it does not have a center tap, and it does not have a 5-volt supply for a rectifier tube. So if you're going to repurpose the transformer in this, you have to use a solid-state rectification, i.e., your 4 diodes, like this amp has right here. This is our solid-state full-wave bridge rectifier right here. The other thing, so you cannot use a tube rectifier, at least not a 5-volt one. You can use a 6.3-volt one. However, that's probably not going to work in this situation because the amount of high voltage coming out of the transformer here. The power transformer is pushing about 450 to 490 volts DC once rectification is done. So I'm going to guess, with my horrible mathematics, it's maybe a 320 to 350 per side. So it'll be a 350 0 or something. The other thing to note is the heater circuit. Now, PVs are notoriously, with their heater circuits, which is this little pissy wire right here. Good, hey? Like, look at that. Heater circuit. High amp, high current. Couple of strands of copper. No big deal. Yeah, cool. The heater circuit on these, I think it may be like 20 volt, 30 volt DC or something. And I believe, I could be wrong, I really could be wrong. I believe, though, it might be that the heater circuit is series in this, not in parallel. So the voltage drop across all the tubes in here, and there's, I think, 7 of them. There's 4 EL84 power tubes and 3 12AX7s. 2 in the preamp and 1 phase inverter. Times 6.3 by that, and I think maybe you're going to get that voltage coming out of here. That's a little description of how this amp works. Like I said, I haven't checked that. I honestly don't know 100%. But if that's the case, then the 6.3 volt filament line is not 6.3 volts, it's going to be 30. Which means if you're going to repurpose this transformer, you're either going to have to do the same sort of thing with the tubes you're going to go into, or figure out some sort of voltage drop system, which, to be honest, at that sort of current flow, you're going to need a resistor the size of your foot, okay? So it may turn out that this proprietary designed power transformer is useless to us. Maybe. Okay, you can get around it by buying a separate 6.3 volt AC power transformer and just running that off your heater circuit. So then you got 3 transformers on your board, which, not like there's no room for it, but yet again, more expense, more transformers, more things to go wrong, more options for interference and things like that. So it could get nasty, could get horrible. This whole thing could be junk, apart from, you know, maybe 50 to $100 worth of components that I can use elsewhere. So anyway, that's the PV Classic 50. Excellent design. Well done, PV. Good job. I know you've been making these for years. I know people swear by them. They do sound great, believe it or not. I know I'm just knocking the living shit out of this amp. From a technician's point of view, it's a horrible thing. From a playing point of view, whoever's got one and owns one, or owned one, they swear by them. And to be honest, they are good. They do sound good. You're also pumping 50 watts out of 4 EL84s. Most amps that pump out that sort of wattage would go to 2 6L6s. Those EL84s, I know they run hot, and a lot of manufacturers do this, but I tell you what, that's cooking. And these amps, again, they're notorious for being cold biased, and the reason for that is because you are running those valves at such a high voltage. I mean, most data sheets you look at, the EL84s, they say maximum 300 to 350 volts DC on the plates. This thing, I think I measured about 458 or something like that. Let's call it 460 on a good day. And, you know, it could get higher, it could get lower because of your input voltage coming out of the wall, depending on the load of the day. So, I tell you what, these amps, they like to cook. And proof in the pudding, this thing's just wasted. So I'm going to be careless about it and just rip all the components off that I can and keep everything I want to and throw the rest in my e-waste. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. Appreciate your love and support, and all the best. See you next time.